Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Assassin, and we're back with some more Marvel Rivals and or Overwatch 2, I guess. So recently I've been playing a lot of Overwatch 2. I've been trying to be a little bit more zealous in looking into different games in the same category, check them out, compare and contrast, and especially with these two titles because a lot of people are saying, wow, this looks like a clone of Overwatch. I want to go over the reasons why. It's not really the case, at least in my opinion, but we'll get to that. I want to go over why they feel similar, what I think, just kind of sit down here, talk, give you guys some gameplay in the background, and do a bit of a commentary. I know a lot of my videos are either cut from streams or I'm doing a bit of an informational guide type of thing, but this is what I would like to do, is just kind of speak to you guys, give my opinion, and I think it's kind of pertinent to the information right now because people are either writing it off or just saying, oh, well, this is the Overwatch clone, and I don't think the comparison is really all that fair. I also do think it has some merit, but I think it's more of a mischaracterization of what's going on instead of actually being the reason why people think that. So first of all, obviously the art style, right? The art style between these two games is very similar. It's kind of cartoony, a little bit more punchy in the color department. Look at the two characters. I mean, you clicked on the thumbnail, you have Penny as well as you have Diva. Diva and Penny are quite familiar. They're obviously very similar. They look like they could be in the same universe. Some of the maps and everything look pretty close. When you even look up images for like maps for Marvel Rivals, you're gonna come up with maps from Overwatch because they do look so similar. I mean, some of the cars, I've had to do double takes at some of these pictures to be like, oh, is that a map that's releasing in Marvel Rivals? Or maybe something in Overwatch that I wasn't aware of because I'm not an avid Overwatch player. I haven't been for a very long time. At one point I was really interested in it, but we had to go back to it recently, as you're seeing in these gameplay clips, that I had to come and check it out just so I could do a bit of a comparison. Obvious issue, and maybe not even an issue, it's just the obvious comparison that they are hero shooters, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's plenty of hero shooters. It's been a big trend as of recently. I mean, in the last couple of years, it's been hero shooters out the fucking ass, them being a mainstay for a lot of AAA developers to try to capitalize on. There's going to be obviously similarities between both, and especially in this concept because, you know, they're both a payload type of game mode. There is capture points. I mean, there is a lot of things that are borderline similar. I mean, if you closed your eyes, squinted, you probably wouldn't notice a difference. Playing the games, there is a different feel. Them having the same genetic DNA makeup, if you will, they will be in the same category. It's gonna be like GTA, let's say like 3 and like Saints Row 2, that sort of thing. You know, they're similar, but obviously they're different. I don't know if that's really a good comparison, but if you get what I'm trying to say, I mean, it's in the same category. They're going for the same thing. And with Overwatch making hero shooters so popular, making them come to the forefront of gaming, they're going to be the staple for comparisons, kind of like how GTA is compared to anything that's like open world or, you know, just, oh, you have guns and cars. And with those comparisons made, you're going to have people being confused or otherwise just oblivious to the fact that the games play completely differently. There's a very different feel. And while I was playing Overwatch, the biggest thing to me when I'm playing Overwatch is the gunplay. I don't know whether or not the gunplay is better or worse, but when I was talking to one of my friends while we were playing, he said something really smart, something that made sense to me. He was like, well, if you look at it like this, Overwatch and Marvel Rivals have a kind of like key difference, and that's that one has a majority of hit scans and the other one does not. So that meaning there's more of an emphasis on, you know, a shooter mechanic and more of an ability mechanic. That's what Overwatch is offering, or at least from what I can surmise from my gameplay, my experience, there is more of a shooter mechanic happening. There's more of a hit scan mechanic happening, and I don't know if I like that more, but there's definitely like a difference, and that is the thing that is most prevalent to me when you're sitting down and playing them. So it gives you a different gameplay experience. So obviously the whole idea of the game is very similar, but that one change, along with, you know, a few other things we'll talk about, makes it much more of a different experience than Overwatch. And you just really have to play it to understand what I'm talking about. Obviously they're similar, but when I sit down and play Overwatch, it doesn't quite scratch that itch, if you know what I'm saying. Like, obviously it's close. It gets really close, and there's more, you know, factors in play with it why I might want to play one or the other, you know. And the big thing is the team ups. The team ups in Marvel Rivals are really, really good. I really enjoy the team ups. They add a diverse, different experience, and I think it's a lot of really cool mechanics that add a little bit of flair to their gameplay. And obviously you have the Marvel IP brand behind that. The mechanical differences between the two, you know, being more focused on shooting mechanics or hit scan, whatever you want to call call it, abilities, and I think there's obviously a great difference between both, regardless of IP. I've tried to formulate my opinion based upon that because that was the one thing I could really point out, along with the team-ups, that really drove home the point of like, wow, this is why it doesn't feel identically the same. You know, surface level, you could look at both of these and be like, yeah, those are damn near the same thing, and I get that, I totally do. But I think when you sit down and you sit here, try to be more critical of what you're playing, and if you're paying attention a little bit more, and you don't even really have to pay attention all that hard. I mean, just playing the games, you'll notice there's big differences between the two, and I think that's like a really good thing. Overall, I think Marvel Rivals and Overwatch both have a definitive place in where they're going to be. I think Marvel Rivals might cater to a wider audience just because of the IP itself. Overwatch has been around for years and years, and it's a Blizzard IP. Those are very popular. Regardless, I think both games are going to be totally fine. Comparing Overwatch to Marvel Rivals is obviously the closest comparison. You know what I mean? They are born and bred from the same DNA, and that makes sense, but they're different. And I just kind of wanted to get that across. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you going to be playing Marvel Rivals when it releases? Do you think Overwatch is just a better game? Do you think Marvel Rivals is a clone of Overwatch? I'd like to hear your feedback down below. And let me know what you guys want me to play next. We've got some time in between games here. There's a whole lot of things going on in the gaming community. We'll just have to pick out something to play. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I appreciate you, and I'll be seeing you very, very soon.